Let's rock and roll. Get it done.
Let's see, are now they able to come in? Oh. There we go.
Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Virtual Open House. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to get logged in. And we know some parents have never been in Zoom before, so we're going to give them a second. If you are waiting around, if you will type your student's name in the chat, we're going to try to figure out who got on for open house and who missed it so that we can send it out to them. We'll make sure we get a good many people in here before we get super started. So it's 6:04. We're going to at least wait till 6:05. If you are waiting and in, I don't know if you can see it, the light kind of changed, but type in the chat box, what are you most excited for about 5th grade? So type that in the chat box along with your name. I wonder, what was our final number on the other one? I think we saw 26. We had 26 people. 26, okay. Awesome. Here comes some more friends. Brain break. Shallow. That's what you're most excited for is a brain break? I feel like we've had a 6-month brain break. Yes. Shiloh. I'm going to need a brain break after these open houses too. Yes. And also, open house will be posted on our YouTube pages in case at any point you have to log out. Just know that we'll have a way to get this information to you. Getting more people in. Had a little bit of technical difficulties in our first one, but I think we got our kinks kind of figured out with this one. Jade is excited about making new friends. Yay! It's going to be good. How many participants do we have now? 8. 8. What do you think? Well, we can go ahead and start. Our administration kind of created a video for you guys. This is a welcome back. It's really short. We're going to share our screen and show that to you guys first, and then we're going to go over our PowerPoint slide. Yes. And questions, we'll have a question and answer time at the end that you will be able to put in the chat box. So if you'll hold on to those, we'll be able to answer all of those. So, share screen. All right. There we go. Found it. Okay. Here we go. What do you think? The play button. How do you remove that box? Oh goodness.
Principal here at Oak Hill Elementary, and I'd like to welcome you to our 20th year being open. We're so glad to have you join us. Let me take a moment and introduce some of our staff to you. This is Miss Carolyn, our assistant principal. Welcome back, boys and girls. And this is Miss Martha, our hello, welcome back. And wait to see you all. I'd like to introduce you to our office staff. This is Miss Lewis, our secretary and bookkeeper. This is Miss Spearman, our registrar and secretary. And finally, this is Miss Malone, our nurse. Now we're in our media center, and I'd like to meet someone very special. Welcome, boys and girls. How are you? It's me, Miss Dowdy. No more fifth grade. I'm now in the media center, and I can't wait to read so many special books with you. See you soon. And again, welcome to Oak Hill. We're so glad to have you joining our Oak Hill family. Have a great and super school year.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see. Stop share. And then let's make sure this is zoomed.
Awesome.
There we go.
All right, guys. So as we chat, if you think of a question, you can type it in the chat box, and at the end, we will get to your questions as best that we can if we know the answer. If not, we will direct you in that direction. So for our first slide, we are just kind of introducing ourselves. We'll do a lot more introduction this first week of school next week. But for those of you who do not know, I am Mrs. Ridgway, and this is my 9th year teaching. I have taught in Newton County. I've taught at West Newton and now at Oak Hill. I've taught pre-K, kindergarten, 1st grade, 3rd grade, and then I just moved from 3rd grade to 5th grade. This is my first year in 5th, and I'm super, super excited. A little bit about me. I am a boy mom. I have 2 sons. My oldest son, Oakley, goes to Oak Hill. He is a rising 2nd grader. And then my son, Mackland, is 3. So during my non-school time, I am usually at baseball with my boys, or I am watching UGA football if they play this year. And I am a really big essential oils fan. So if you ever run by my room, if you're ever allowed in the building this year, you will see my diffuser on, and I will probably be listening to music. So those are my favorite things to kind of like calm me down.
So I am Miss Sanders. Some of you guys might have known me as Miss Lacey. So if it still says Miss Lacey in the book, just know that I will be your teacher this year. This is my 3rd year at Oak Hill, and I have been here since I started. So I'm a 3rd year teacher and my 3rd year at Oak Hill, and I've been teaching math and science in 5th grade the entire time. Miss Dowdy, as you guys saw, used to be my old teammate. She's in the library this year. So Miss Ridgway moved over, and now we're teammates. She was from 3rd grade. So some of you might have even had Miss Ridgway before. And I know I've seen a lot of your faces in the hallway. So we're super excited that you're with us this year. Some of my interests, and like I said, we'll talk about some more get to know you things next week, but some of my interests are I love to do interior design, any decorating, DIY, remodeling stuff, anything that involves like creating things or problem solving or making things pretty. I really enjoy doing that, as well as just spending time with my family and traveling.
All right, so what was in your folder? If you guys picked up your brown bags, and I think everybody picked up their bag. So you got the brown bag from Oak Hill, and there were tons of things inside of there. One was a folder. Inside your folder, the most important things for you guys are going to be these. We tried to put these towards the front. There was a small green sheet and then a white sheet that looks kind of like something we copied from your agenda. These 2 things need to be returned to us as soon as possible. Everything else you get to keep, so please, please, please fill these out. And there is a bin in the front of the school, and it has the grade levels on it, and you will just toss these in there, and then we're going to organize them for you guys. So the green sheet and the white, and then see, they were on the side. Everything else over here is yours to keep. Yes. You have the open house information, which you're on open house, so I think you got it. We have our Chromebook contract that just reminds you of the things they can and cannot do with their Chromebooks, even though they're at home. Our syllabus, our lovely supply list. They will need just a few supplies that you may have laying around your house. So go on here. just because we're going to try to make it as interactive as we can, just like we would here in the building. So meet the teachers, a little bit more about Miss Sanders and I. Agenda. Want to talk about agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
So your agenda, keep up with this guy, even if we do come back or if we stay at home, we're going to be using your agenda a lot. So in our agenda, we're going to start our morning meeting each morning and actually see a question, Ms. Provine, you're going to come to our morning meeting under one Zoom link because we're going to do it together, and we'll probably just keep it with Ms. Ridgway, which is the same Zoom link. Some people are doing it a little differently, but we're going to do our morning meeting every morning together. And that's just going to be like our fresh start to our day. We'll give announcements, and also in that time, we will write down what you need to get done that day in your agenda. So that's why we really want you to keep up with these things. We're going to try to prepare you for middle school, where you are held accountable for writing down what you need to do that day. So we're going to write that in our agenda. Other important thing in your agenda is inside this front cover, there will be a little label. And Ms. Ridgway and I spent some time making those labels for you guys because we are all virtual this year. Passwords are going to be very important. So we kind of broke it down to the 3 major things. You're going to be getting on Google / your Chromebook, which you guys should know that is the same login. It is your normal login with @newtonstudents.org. So anytime you're on Google, that is what you use, and then your password. So that is the probably most important thing we'll be doing. That password is the most important thing that you'll need to know. Second one, Infinite Campus. Your grades will still be in Infinite Campus. So that is your student password to be able to see your grades. And then lastly, your My Launchpad / Canvas login is the other important one. So these 3 logins are the main ones that you will need for this school year. So keep up with that. That way you won't be, how do I get in? It's going to be on that label.
Okay. Yep. And like she was saying, every day during morning meeting from 7:40 to 8, the expectation, we know that it'll take some time for them to get used to it, but it will be for them to bring their agenda to morning meeting, and we're going to have written out for them to copy everything that they must turn in for that day. That way they can use it as like a checklist to make sure that they have everything done. And here's the agenda. We'll just use it as a reminder. We will model it for them. We have agendas ourselves. So we're going to be modeling what that looks like and how to use it as like an organizing tool for them. And then definitely, like Ms. Sanders was saying, with the passwords, because some of their passwords are just a slight bit different and it's hard for them to remember them sometimes. Class Dojo. We are going to use Class Dojo to communicate as much as we can with the parents this year and with the students. If your student has a device and they would like to add themselves under their name, they can certainly do that as well on Dojo. And we're going to just try as much as we can to give you as many resources as we can and reminders. So if you are not in Class Dojo with either one of us, it does not matter which homeroom you're in the chat box, if you guys will type in your phone number and your name, and we will get you added. If email works better, we can add you through email as well. So if you are not in Class Dojo, you can type that in the chat for us.
All right, materials. So the big thing is you're not going to be at school where you have your desk and we are able to keep you super organized. You won't have your book bag with you, and but what we want you to do is find a space at your house that you want to do your virtual learning at. And in that space, keep all of your materials together, maybe in a basket or a book bag, and stay organized. That way, when we're on Zoom, you're not running around the house trying to find your blue folder for math or whatever it may be. Keep it all together. And also that will help you focus more. If you create a space where you can focus, and that's your learning space, not in your bed, or not out in the big family room where everybody's all out. There's your pets and everything of the sort. Find you a quiet place as much as you can in your home to learn at every day. That's kind of it with that.
Attendance. Okay, for one of our virtual expectations, a lot of parents so far have been questioning the attendance. We are treating attendance the same way that we would treat attendance if they were in the building. The only difference is that there are going to be several different times of day that they get on Zoom with us. So during our live Zoom sessions, we're going to go old school and we are going to call out their name and say here. So when they come to me for reading, I will ask, or I will take attendance at the end and to see who was in my lesson. Same for writing, for math, for science, for social studies. So we will take attendance technically 5 times a day for them. And then at the end of the day, we will get on Infinite Campus and we will mark that they were present or if they were absent for the day. It is crucial that they get on with us, especially if you were a virtual learner. This, when we phase back in, this will not pertain to the people coming in person because they'll be in the building. But virtually, we have to still, we'll go to the next slide and talk about grading. We are still responsible for taking their attendance just like we would in the classroom. So every day we will be taking that attendance. So please make sure, we know things happen, dentist appointments, or they're not feeling well, your internet won't work. We totally get that. But let us know if that's the case, because we want to make sure that we are marking their attendance and letting the school and the county know that they are present and they are meeting the expectations and requirements to go on to middle school. And then our syllabus on Canvas, we'll show you that in a second. On Canvas, we have an area where it outlines the whole syllabus for 5th grade, and most of that information came from the Newton County page as far as what is expected for attendance. So you'll read that and then sign it just like you would if you came to open house in person tonight. Grades.
Awesome. So grading, you are going to be graded on your assignments, and your teachers are going to grade your assignments and your assessments just as we would do in person. You can probably expect maybe 1 to 2 grades a week per subject. So just know that you are going to be responsible for completing your work. At the end of the year last year, this is still very all new to us all, but we had to stop in the middle of our last quarter and go straight into virtual. There was it was a lot more relaxed, where you didn't receive grades at Infinite Campus. However, this is going to be very different. You are going to be responsible for your grades. You're going to be responsible for completing your assignments and turning them in. And we've also offered everyone's going to have access to the internet through the Chromebooks. You should have already picked those up, but you have to do your work and you have to be sure that it's turned in, and you will be receiving grades on Infinite Campus. And we're going to talk a little bit further about how we're going to work with each other. We're going to understand if something comes up, if there's technical difficulties, all of the sort. But just know that you need to be doing your work every single day and turning it in, because you will receive grades for it.
Yes. Dress code. Back in the spring, again, this is a little lax, but we are asking that they wear something that they would wear if they were walking into Oak Hill. No pajamas, no hoodies over their head with their sunglasses on. Cameras will be on, or they're expected to be on, so no blankets or them laying in the bed, because a lot of our lessons we're trying to make it as interactive as we can. So they're going to be on the screen, they're going to be unmuting themselves, they're going to be talking to their classmates, talking to us, sharing what they're doing. So no Halloween costumes. We kind of saw it all back in the spring, and so we're trying to just encourage them to wear something that they would wear up to the school. So,
all right, and our schedules. So you should have received a schedule in your folder that was sent home in your brown bag. Also, your schedules are on Canvas, and do we want to take them to Canvas in a second after the next slide?
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit further about.
We're going to show you where these are on Canvas, because it's a lot of information, and we're going to just kind of give you a run through real quick in a second. We're going to share our screen, but know that we're going to take them step by step in here. This is going to be like, this is my homeroom classes schedule, and this is Miss Sanders' homeroom schedule, and they will follow this all the way down every day. So it is going to become very much routine for them. We do want to show you where that is in Canvas, so you can go ahead and start looking at it if you saw it in your folder as well. But just know we'll show you the top. This is our Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Newton County has decided that on Wednesdays, we're gonna have an alternate schedule, which we will show you where this is almost like it's gonna be treated like a half day every Wednesday. So, you want me to share?
Yeah. I'm going to pull it up.
I will go ahead on Canvas and pull Canvas up. I guess I need to share the screen. How do I do that? Nope. That one. Okay. All right, so when you go into Canvas here, and the kids are very much aware of Canvas. I know that they used it. We started using it in 3rd, and then they used it all year last year in 4th grade. Oh, went way too far. Right here is the 5th grade page. This is going to be for all 5th graders this year. So you're going to click on it. All right, and then when you scroll down right here, this is the beginning of the year stuff I was just talking about. You're going to click here, and there are 4 things up under here. I'll go real quick and show you. It's for you. Some of them are for you guys, and some of them are for your students. The digital syllabus and the Chromebook contract will need to be signed by you and your child, but the other 2 are just kind of for us to get to know them. They can do those throughout. They have about 2 weeks, so if they're bored at home this week, they can get those done. So when you scroll down here, you'll see Miss Sanders and I. You're going to click there. And this is going to house all of our stuff. Our daily agenda will be here, which they will copy in their actual agenda every day. And then you'll see our schedules, links to our YouTube channels, and then our Zoom. We're going to put our Zoom links down here. That way, and just in case your schedule will not pull up, that you can still get our link. So I'll just show you mine. For example, if you're in my homeroom, you'll follow mine. If you are in Miss Sanders, you will follow hers. And here it is large for you. We broke it down into blue and pink. Blue is me. Every time you see blue on your schedule, you will be coming to my class. Here's my code and my password. Every time you see pink, you will go to Miss Sanders. So there is her code and her password as well. So you see at the top, morning meeting is both colors because you'll be with both of us. We're going to try to start our day in a positive way. Then all these blues mean that you are live with me, or small group. It depends on the day. You may not be with me in small group every single day. You'll see that Monday, Thursday is social studies, and Tuesdays, Fridays are science. We've been told we're not doing science or social studies on our half day on Wednesday, so they'll go on Monday, Thursday to me, and to science on Tuesday, Friday with Miss Sanders. And then specials, we'll talk about that in a minute. And then down here, they'll come to math at the end of the day with Miss Sanders. If you are in Miss Sanders' homeroom class, your schedule almost looks identical, except for you'll notice that it's flip-flopped. You'll start your day with her, and then you will come to me, just like you guys did last year in 4th. If you had Miss Bigelow for math in the morning, you flip-flopped and you stayed with her for a while, and then you swapped classes and went across the hall to Miss Bolden. So it's very similar. So you can go throughout here. And then our Wednesday schedule, we are doing only reading and math. So you'll come to me for reading, have a break, come to me for math, and the rest of the day is yours. Last thing I'll say is if you would notice that from 11, this should say 12:30, I guess. From 11 to 12:30 is going to be their lunchtime, their recess time, and they can read, they can go outside and just take a brain break. And that will be a time where we don't assign anything to them as far as assignments or quizzes or tests or things like that. That will be their time. And somebody mentioned a good thing in the last session about lunch. If you are somebody who wants to come up and get the lunches up at the school, that time is so large because of that. Because if you are somebody who wants to come up to the school and get a lunch, from 11 to 1 is the window, and you can drive around the back of the school just like you did in the spring, and you can receive your lunch, your sack lunch.
And also another thing that you may notice in the schedule is you will have kind of what a session, and we're calling a session like math. You're going to have one math session a day. And ideally what the session will look like is we'll come in on the Zoom, and then we'll do maybe around a 30-minute Zoom lesson. And then you'll see on the schedule where it says individual work time, small group time. You're going to have time in the day, in the session, to complete your work. Don't want you guys to think that you're going to be on Zoom with us the whole time and then have to do your work in the afternoon. Now you'll do a small lesson with us, and then the rest of that time up until your next subject, you're going to be able to work on your assignments. We'll be available to answer questions, but we're not going to make you stay in a lesson the whole time. So that's kind of how that will go. And you'll also have brain breaks throughout the day. So we're going to kind of break it up where it's not too boring, where it's not a lot of time like focused in. All right, self-paced.
Okay, so those of you who know that they changed the self-paced to be kindergarten through 12th grade, the self-paced model is a lot like homeschool. It is going to be more parent-led. It's going to be, they're going to be using different websites and different apps as far as completing their work and receiving instruction. But if you were somebody who chose self-paced, I know we had a few, maybe 5 or 6 between the two of us, you are not going to be following the schedule that we just showed you. This is going to be for our virtual students and those who are phasing back in person in about a month. So if you are self-paced, you will not be getting on Zoom with us every day. You won't be turning in the assignments on Canvas. You guys have your own open house next week, and they're going to give you more information, but it is, like it says, it's self-paced. The students can work at their own pace, but the instruction is going to come from someone else. We have a liaison in the building who will track your attendance and support you, and if you have any questions or things like that. But as far as the daily routine of what Ms. Sanders and I are going to do, if you chose self-paced, that is not going to be something that you are going to need to complete with us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Canvas.
All right, Canvas, as we just showed you our Canvas, if you were here at Oak Hill last year in 4th grade, you should be pretty familiar with Canvas. They have gotten rid of Clever, and they've replaced it with something called My Launchpad. It is also on the Oak Hill page, just like where Clever was, and they just replaced it. It's the same thing. It keeps your logins. So you can access Canvas from My Launchpad, and you'll click on it, and then you'll find our 5th grade page. I know we had some questions in the last session that if you were in My Homeroom, your Canvas course was not popping up. That should pop up now. I think we fixed that. And just want to take you really quickly to there. I know Ms. Ridgway showed you what's under our page, but let's see. Share screen. Once you go into Canvas and you go to our Oak Hill 5th grade page, we are having a page with all of 5th grade. So everybody in 5th grade will be here, even if they're not on our team. So your subjects, everything will fall under these subjects, like your assignments and your links to things. But if you want to go just look at our information, you're going to click on our team information. And as Ms. Ridgway showed you, everything will be there. The main things you'll need: our schedule, our YouTube link, and our Zoom. And then that will also take you to our daily agenda, which will look something like this. As Ms. Ridgway and I also told you that you'll be writing this down in your agendas in the morning. So that's really where your major information is going to be hubbed at, especially for parents. If you want to check in and make sure you know what they're supposed to get done throughout the day, it will be there. And let me stop sharing the screen. Okay.
This banner is towards the top of our Canvas page. In the next few weeks, the next 2 weeks, if you're at home together, like tonight, if you click on there, there's 4 things that you can complete for us. That would be fantastic. If not, we're going to remind the kids to have you guys sit down with them next week and try to get those done as well. But that will also give you a lot of information as far as some questions that you may have. Canvas also, to the left side of their Canvas page where the arrow is, for the kids, if they're working on a lesson and they're just struggling, or they have a question or a concern, they have an inbox down here, and it is exactly like an email. And they can send us an email separately or together asking us questions. They can send us things that they're working on. They can take pictures of it and say, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here, anything like that. So they can use the inbox. During the school day, we will have Canvas open, obviously, because we'll be using this portal to house our instruction. So if they need us, the fastest way, instead of them telling you and you reaching out on Dojo, is going to be in that inbox where they can personally just talk with us one-on-one about anything that they need to talk to us about.
So Zoom codes, as we just showed you through the Canvas page, there's those 3 big buttons. Also, you guys probably already know this from last year, but parents, whenever there is a picture or an icon, that is a button on Zoom usually, and you click that and it will take it to you. It might not always say click here to go to Miss Ridgway's Zoom, but if it says Zoom Miss Ridgway, that is a button that has a link embedded in it, and it will take you straight to that. So I just showed you how to get there, but just know that our Zoom codes are just going to be us, just going to be our classes. Do not share those with anyone else. We don't want anybody other than our kids, our 5th grade students on there. And even though we're, like I talked about earlier, we'll have separate sessions where you'll, leave out, do some small group time and come back in. So say, for example, if you have math and science, you're going to go to my Zoom code, same Zoom code. You're not going to have to go to a different one for different subjects. If it's with me, you'll just go to that Zoom code. If it's with Miss Ridgway, you'll go to her. So you really will only be checking in on 2 Zoom codes for your academics daily.
For our live sessions, this is very similar to what we started to talk about with the students back in the spring. We know that in the classroom setting, there's not as many distractions. They're in here together, but trying to find, like Miss Sanders was saying earlier, a quiet little nook in their house or in your house where they can be, a quiet space. We ask that nobody else be in the background. If the parents want to sit to the side and listen in, so if you have any, anything that you need to listen in on, that is completely fine. But no siblings running around in the background if they're not Zooming, just so that we can make sure if we call on them that it's a quiet space. We're asking as an Oak Hill initiative, no backgrounds this year. Some people found that to be very distracting for their students. I know it's fun, and it's maybe we'll have an opportunity later on, but we just ask that we keep those off for now, just so they're not distracting to others. Appropriate clothing, we talked about dress code, making sure they're wearing something that they would wear to Hill, and they're asking that students keep their cameras on. We are going to try to make it interactive, calling on them to share, asking them to unmute and talk to one another, maybe breaking out into smaller groups and letting them read out loud or things like that. So making sure their camera is on and that they're participating kind of coincides with their attendance as well. Tech issues.
So this is a virtual world we're entering into. We have never been virtual teachers before. We did something of the sort last spring, but we are starting out completely virtual learning. So there's going to be a lot of things that we're all going to learn along the way. There's going to be technology issues. If a Zoom shuts down, we'll just shut it. We'll just bring it right back up and you'll be able to log in. If something's not working on your end, we're always going to be available to you guys to answer as many questions as we can. And our goal is for you guys to learn as much as you can, have a smooth as possible transition into 5th grade year, even though it's virtual, and to be able to help you as much as possible. So just know that there is going to have to be a lot of grace for this uncharted territory. We're going to give you guys grace in understanding, how to maneuver this. We're going to give your parents grace. And we just ask you guys to give that to us in return, and we're going to all work together to make the most of this virtual learning experience. So just don't worry about tech issues. We're going to figure it all out together. Ms. Ridgway and I love technology, so hopefully we'll be able to answer your questions the best that we can. And we're planning on making some videos, some tech informational videos to keep on our YouTube pages to kind of help you guys. And we'll plan on having those up next week.
Most definitely. And this is our last slide, and then we will open it up to answer the questions in the chat. And I see some of them are already over there. We are going to do YouTube channels. So for myself, for reading, writing, and social studies, every day when I do my live Zoom, say I do one for social studies on the Bill of Rights, I'm going to link it directly over to my YouTube channel and leave it there for a few weeks for you guys to watch, because we know that things happen and you can't get on, or your babies are sick, so you can't get on and watch the video. So we're going to keep it up there. And also, I didn't even think about this, but it's a great way if they watch something in math. I know I would probably have to go back and watch Miss Sanders' videos several times for math, but if they need to go back and re-watch something because it's just a confusing concept, it will be up there for them to continue to watch. So we're going to try our best to get those up every day. So if we record one on a Monday, we're going to try our best to make sure that it is up before we leave on Monday so that you guys can go back and watch. Same for Miss Sanders. All of her math and her science are going to be here. These links I shared with you guys on Dojo this morning, but you guys can go click and subscribe. You can subscribe. The students can subscribe. I know they have all that YouTube stuff. Yeah. So they can, and we'll share this. This is also, like Ms. Sanders showed you, is on our Canvas page. So they can click right to it. It will take them directly to our YouTube channels. Yes. So at this time, if you have any questions, concerns, if you'll type them in the chat, and we're going to try to answer them as best we can with what we know so far. And if we can't get it answered, we will try to find the answer for you guys.
Yes. I see one from earlier. I think I answered this already, but we had a parent that asked, if in case you missed it, was what will be the first step in the morning? Do they Zoom with their homeroom teacher? And so that will be, like we talked about, that will be that time, that morning meeting time. And we're going to use Miss Ridgway's link for our morning meeting, because Ms. Ridgway and I are going to do our morning meeting together. So that'll be an opportunity that you will be able to be with the other class on your team. So it'll be all of our team students, Ms. Ridgway and I's homeroom. We will all be on that morning meeting Zoom together. And that's where we'll do our announcements, and we'll write down our agenda and just start our day off together before we go into our academics. Yes. All right, I see somebody said my login for my Launchpad did not work. So if your login for my Launchpad did not work, did you check your agenda? You already picked up an agenda?
Yeah, were you using your agenda login, or I don't know. I would assume they can get into Launchpad at this point already, right?
Yeah, and it could be that because we're still haven't officially started the school year. Maybe if you're having some technical difficulties getting into some sites, you know, especially things that the school might have bought like a subscription for, it might not start until next week. But other than that, I'm not quite sure why you wouldn't be able to get in. Does not work. We use the username and password on the paper. Okay, so I'm going to take down that name, Ethan, and we'll make sure that if you are on Dojo, then we can send a private message. We'll check that on Dojo to make sure that we have you the correct login information. Awesome. All right, any other questions? Questions do you have? Okay.
Anything at all. If it's just, even if it's something you think I already answered, we already answered.
Yeah.
Ask it again, because that was information overload.
Yes, let's see. All right. Okay. Awesome. What's the earliest time I can log on Zoom in the morning?
7:40.
7:40.
We're treating it like we would. That's the tardy bell here at Oak Hill. So we're going to start from 7:40 to 8. We know it takes time for them to get logged in and things like that. So that first 20 minutes will be announcements, pledge, moment of silence. We're going to try to keep it as similar as we would if we were in the building. And then, so yeah, 7:40. And then at 8 o'clock, we'll start your academic day. Of course, there's no Bulldog Boost for those of you who know Oak Hill schedule, we won't have Bulldog Boost at this point, but so yeah, we'll see you at 7:40. So you got to roll out of bed, get ready, eat a little bite before 7:40.
Yes.
So you get to maybe sleep in a little bit, right?
Yeah, it
A
depends.
little bit.
Another question, is the schedule online because the paper is blue? Yes, so we color coded it to put it online, so we don't have color printers here at school. So the color coding is online on the Canvas page through our team information and then our schedule, depending on your homeroom. But the schedule is the same as the one that was sent home with you on the colored paper. It just doesn't have the coloring for the Zooms. But just know that if it says math or science, you're going to use my Zoom code. If it says ELA, reading, writing, social studies, you will use Ms. Ridgway's Zoom code. All right. Will the report cards still come out the same as last year? Great question.
Sure. I'm just kidding. We know that the marking period is every 9 weeks. They're still updating our curriculums because our curriculum is completely had to change because we have to go backwards and teach the later part of 4th grade, and then we're going to move into our content. But as far as report cards and progress reports, do you guys do progress reports?
No, we've not
No.
done progress.
Report cards should come out the exact same way. I would assume maybe they're going to be going home digital if kids are still virtual at that point, and then our in-person kids, when we phase back in, they may get a hard copy, or I don't know, they may even mail them. We'll get back to you on that.
We're not quite sure.
We're not sure about that. We do know the marking, the 9 weeks does still count, and that's why it's important that they're turning in assignments, they're taking quizzes and tests and things, because we're still responsible for inputting those grades. Whether they do it or not, it goes in as 0 or whatever they make.
Awesome. So we know about equivalent to what you guys know. This is just uncharted territory and things are changing. They're trying to adapt the best that we can. So the best advice we can give you is the same thing that we do. We check Newton County's, you can check their Facebook page, you can check their web page. They have all of the information up as soon as it's released. So check that. Basically what we know as of right now, for sure, and of course this could change. As they've said, they're watching numbers and the sort. But there were 3 options. You could choose self-paced, virtual, or in-person. Right now, the in-person option has been taken away. And so if you were in-person or virtual, we are all now virtual together. And then October 5th, 5th grade is the last group to phase back in if everything goes according to plan. And on October 5th, if you chose in-person, you will phase back into school. If you chose virtual, you will stay virtual. And that's really the basis of what we know. And so things may look a little different on October 5th, but either way, you will still receive instruction from both of us.
Mm-hmm. And if you chose self-paced, you are staying self-paced until January 27th. We have not heard word on if or when they get to come back. In person or virtual if they choose. So we'll keep you updated on that. As y'all know, it keeps changing, so we'll update you as much as we can. But yes, check the, I find that the Facebook page is the most accurate and up to date. They try to do that first because they know you guys are out there looking for any information on their site. So
yeah.
Were there any more questions on there?
Are we going to school before January? If you chose the in-person option, yes, the plan as of now, as they say, according to numbers, the plan as of now is if you chose in person, we will start coming back on October 5th for 5th grade. Now, if you have brothers and sisters that are in younger grade levels, they are phasing in over a period of, I believe it's 1 week or 2 weeks? 3 weeks. Okay, 3-week period, they're phasing in different grade levels. So for example, on October 5th, it might be 5th grade and 10th grade and 2nd grade coming in. It's a phasing system that they've done. But I know that our date to come back is October 5th for 5th grade if you are an in-person student.
And you had to originally choose in person from the beginning when the option was presented months ago. If you chose virtual from the beginning, you will stay virtual. As I feel, I don't know. We don't know if that's for the first 9 weeks. We don't know if that's through December. We have not been given that information yet. But as soon as we know, we'll let you know. I just know that they're trying to make the decisions the best they can, watching the numbers and stuff. But hopefully, we will get back in the building as soon as possible. All of us, if you'd like to. So
Yes, your safety is absolutely our priority, but we are really bummed that we won't be able to start our fifth grade year together in person, but we're going to make the most of it. So hopefully we'll be able to get you back in the building. There's another question. Will we be what about the general tests like milestones, etc.? Will they still be taking those?
that's a very good question. It's been presented to the state that the State Department, that we do not take we do not feel like the kids are should be responsible for that. But the State Department has still not gotten back to us. So you can reach out to the Georgia DOE if you would like to, and voice your concern with that. But as of right now, we are still in limbo. They have not told us if we are or are not. So we're just going to keep our academics as rigorous as we can over the computer and try our best to meet their needs as if we were taking the test. But we will let you guys know.
So this is a really great question. So how will virtual work once fifth grade phases back in for the virtual students? Great question. So as Ms. Ridgway talked about earlier, self-paced, this is not what we're talking about, does not pertain to you guys. You're going to kind of be off on your own doing a truly self-paced learning module. But if you are virtual or if you are in person, when we phase, hopefully if we phase back in as planned on October 5th, what will happen is we have about, I think, 19 students that are in person, that chose in person. You guys will come back to school. The rest of you that chose the virtual option, you guys will stay at home. And then what will happen is everyone who comes back to school will be in one class, and then everyone that is virtual will be in a separate class. Now your homeroom's not going to change, but you're just going to be learning together, because the people who come back in person, I will teach, say for example, I will teach you in person my subject, say in the morning. And while I'm doing that with the kids who are in person at school, Ms. Ridgway will be online teaching the virtual students at home. And then flip, like about lunchtime we'll flip, and I will teach my subjects to the at-home kids while Ms. Ridgway is teaching the in-person kids.
It will just be like you are switching classes like you would technically here at school.
Yeah.
So the instruction will stay the same, whether you are in person or you are virtual. You will get the same instruction.
Yeah, so that was a really great question. Awesome.
We'll give y'all more information closer to the 5th. If Samantha Fury decides to go along with that, then we'll let you guys know what that, like a more detailed, but the schedule will remain the same. We'll teach at the same times and those kinds of things.
Yeah. Awesome. You're welcome. Felder?
Jakari. Okay.
All right.
Is that all the questions?
Are there any other questions? Let me scroll one more time.
Okay. Well, we want to thank y'all for coming, and she's checking one more time, but it was nice to meet everybody as well as we could on virtual. And we will do a lot of get to know yous and things with the kiddos when they come back next week.
Yeah.
As far as that's concerned, but yes.
All right. So we're going to upload this to our YouTube page, hopefully tonight. If you missed it, then you'll be able to see it on YouTube. Everybody should be in Canvas to get all of those links. And you may reach us through Doki or Canvas. And I think we're going to call it a night on that one, but we enjoyed meeting you guys virtually, and we're excited for this year, and we're going to make the most of it together and learn a lot.
Y'all have a great evening, and we will see y'all on Tuesday.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.